Hello.
And welcome.
It's the Graveyard Girls.
Our witch trial season.
Welcome to our witch trial season. Yes, I think Ralph just ran down the stairs. That's why I paused. So yes, it's an episode of mine today.
Yes.
And it's slightly unusual.
Oh.
Because for today's case, I'm going to cover the life of one of the accusers.
Oh, okay.
Instead.
Oh, do that's something a bit different.
Well, that's what I thought. None of us have done that yet.
No, we haven't.
And see how their life turns out compared to...
I hope it's shit.
No. This one's weird because her name is Christian Shaw.
Oh.
Yes.
Isn't that a man's name?
Yes.
Is he? Oh, I didn't realise that name was unisex.
Me neither.
Okay.
But I was just like, I kept going through it and I was like, no, it's spelled Christian.
Oh, okay.
It's Christian. She is a
Maybe it
female.
was for the time.
I think so. I think I've come across another one with a male name and it's just like, okay, no, this is a person. So on the 17th of August 1696, 11-year-old Christian Shaw, who was the daughter of a local landowner, John Shaw of Bugarin, and she saw one of her family servants, Catherine Campbell, steal a drink of milk.
Oh.
So Shaw reported the theft to her mother, whereupon Campbell cursed her, wishing the devil would, quote, haul her soul through hell, end quote. Then 4 days later, Shaw encountered Agnes Naismith, who is an old woman reputed
Naughty Ralph.
reputed to be a witch. The following day, August 22nd, Shaw became violently ill with fits, similar those to the symptoms reported a few years earlier to the American Salem witch trials of 1693.
You made me do it now. I can correct her and now.
No, we can't correct each other. I'm reading it and I think, I don't know what it is. When it comes to numbers, my brain gets
if it's like
dyslexic.
1630, it's
Yes.
fine. But it's if it's like 1690 or 1590,
Yeah.
I ought to go 19.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I get dyslexic with the numbers and I'm like, no, that's not right. It's just because we're so used to like 19.
Yeah, I think it's when I said something was in 1997 the other day, and I was like,
The Spice Girls were witches. Maybe. So after 8 weeks, Shaw's parents took her to see the eminent Glasgow physician, Matthew Brisbane, who could find no cause for her symptoms. For 8 days after her visit, Shaw seemed to have recovered, but then the fits returned with increased violence. She would become as stiff as a corpse and be senseless and motionless.
right, okay.
So, yes, Amelia, stop it.
What?
It's very serious. This child has fits and is not stiff as in stiff. So Shaw's parents took her back to Dr. Brisbane, and by the time they arrived back in Glasgow, she had begun to pull out of her mouth balls of hair she had claimed to have been put there by those who were afflicting her. Soon after, she began to pull other things out of her.
So is it the devil's hairy arse?
I guess it could be if they're kissing his bum. But then how are they getting it in her mouth if she's not...
She's taking a bite.
She's not the one kissing. So soon after, she began to pull out other things of her mouth, including straw, coal, gravel...
Coal?
Chicken...
Like a full chunk?
Yeah. Chicken feathers and cinders.
Oh, you'd have a very dry throat after that.
Yeah, look. Can you imagine the hair alone? But then,
and
like
the cold,
this,
that's quite rough. And then
Yep.
you've got chicken feathers. You'd be like coughing all the time.
And
You know when you've
cinders.
got a cold and
Yeah.
it's so dry.
Yeah.
And even if you have a drink, it's like it just absorbs it all and then you've got a really dry throat.
Yeah.
Very strange, but it's cold.
Yeah, it's just stop putting things in your mouth. She has an oral fixation, I think.
Okay.
During her fits, she was sometimes heard to be talking to the invisible Catherine Campbell, pleading for a return to their former friendship. Well, it's a bit late because you
Stop being friends.
you accused her of stealing some milk. Maybe if you offered her a drink,
That's
she wouldn't
why.
need...
Yeah, that's why she's got such a dry throat now because it was all to do with the milk,
Yeah.
and she deprived her friend. So like now, she's got to have all the driest things possible in her mouth as punishment.
That's a very good...
Yeah.
Very good curse. Okay. With Brisbane unable to provide any rational explanation for Shaw's condition, her family and their local parish minister concluded that she must be possessed and being tormented by witches, of course.
Mm-hmm.
The church set up a weekly fast and prayer meeting at Barragan House, and Shaw's father appealed to the authorities that those named by his daughter as tormenting her should be arrested. She had initially identified only Catherine Campbell and Agnes Naismith, but as time wore on, she implicated others, and eventually 35 were accused.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, this is why I wanted to include it, because this one child...
35, that's a hell of a lot.
35.
They're very busy. What, they're doing, like, shifts?
Mm-hmm. So 10 were male and 20 were female. The sexes and identities of the remaining 5 are unknown.
Right.
But I'm assuming they're probably female,
Yeah, probably.
judging on the thing. So at the request of the Presbytery of Paisley, the Scottish Privy Council set up a commission to investigate the case. Under the chairmanship of Lord Blantyre, the hearing opened on the 15th of February 1697. The commission's task was to decide whether there was a prima facie case against those accused by Shaw before they were committed for trial. 7 were subsequently summoned to appear before a second commission in Paisley, and they were Margaret Lang, John Lindsay, James Lindsay, John Reed, Catherine Campbell, Margaret Fulton, and Agnes Naismith. They were charged with murder and tormenting a number of people, including Christian Shaw. Their advocate, James Robertson, argued that the prosecution was obliged to rule out the possibility that the events surrounding the case could be explained by natural causes before a conviction could be safely secured.
Okay.
Matthew Brisbane gave evidence stating that he had been unable to find any such cause for Shaw's condition. James Hutchinson, the minister of Killallen, about 5 miles north of Paisley, delivered a sermon to the commission. It was commonplace at the time for a member of the clergy to preach to the court in Scottish witch trials. They were not infrequently instrumental in securing convictions. So obviously the church is involved, of course.
Yeah. What I'm already thinking about this is, obviously you're talking about the causes. Who was the one that said about all of the coal and everything coming out of her mouth? How did they know that was the thing? And the chicken feathers?
I think that's just coming from Christian herself.
Right, okay. But, surely, the parents, like when you vomit, and then the parents will be like, where do you vomit? She'll be like, oh, I vomited up a chunk of coal.
I think
chicken feathers.
Yeah, I think she's probably got them in her mouth, so then, she's, pulling them out in front of her parents, and then there's evidence.
Okay.
And then she's probably doing the same trick for the doctor.
But she's also supposed to be so ill that, she can't lose her, so how's she getting up and getting about and collecting all these things?
I don't know. But I think she's probably just normal all the time and then would have a random fit and then... I don't know.
Yeah. Because, the fit, yes, okay, that's kind of unexplained. You look at science for the time. But, I know you would say the whole lump of coal thing is unusual, but would you not just be like, that was on the fireplace a few minutes ago?
I think everyone's so wrapped up in it being believable, or they think it's believable, that they're not even going to question her. But
yeah, they wondered where all the coal went.
Yeah. Or it's like, oh, this coal's wet.
Yeah, it's slobbery. It was the dog.
Yeah, because coal's pretty big. I mean, she's going to have to find...
How big's a gob?
But I don't know. I don't know. It's just... It's the words of a 11-year-old and it's all being believed.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's just silly. I don't get the whole lump of coal thing. Maybe, I don't know, a single feather, she could have, maybe inhaled that and then, spat it out.
Yeah.
But, lump of coal, a bit extreme.
And the cinders and everything else.
Do you know what I mean? How's she storing that? Is it,
Straw.
one after the other?
No, I think it's just, oh, this is what came out this time.
Oh, right, okay.
This is what came out this time. And it's all together. It's oh, okay.
Actually, I could account for the piece of straw. I have accidentally. Same with hay. I've ate some of that before when I'm making a hay net.
Stabbed by it.
Straw is prickly.
Yes.
It's mainly because I wasn't paying attention. But
yeah. Everything that she pulled out of her mouth, straw, coal, gravel, chicken feathers, cinders, it's it's nothing you want in your mouth.
Yeah. Oh, and gravel as well.
Yeah.
It's been on the floor, all the pooey feet people.
Okay.
Can you imagine like going down your drive and just getting like a load of gravel that people have walked
Just get a
over?
spoon and scoop it up.
Yeah, and then put it in your mouth.
Hey, it's the mind of an 11-year-old. They're a bit
I wonder if
crazy.
she's having fits and being ill afterwards. She probably fucking poisoned herself.
She just needs to be on that show. Those people that eat weird stuff.
Oh.
The woman who like eats her husband's ashes and
What?
the one. Yes.
I didn't know about this.
And then there's one who eats.
Does it surely just tastes really dusty? Like, did she pour him in a cereal bowl and like she had milk?
No, she sticks her finger in it. And then, yeah.
What are these energy? Wait, let's go get Jeff.
I dare you.
What, to taste it?
Yeah.
I don't know which bit I'm eating though.
Exactly. There's another person who eats like mattress stuffing.
What?
Yeah.
I did go to school with a kid that used to eat paper and tissues.
Yeah, I think everyone had a kid in their class who ate paper. I don't know. It's just weird. Kids are weird. She should be on the
show. Full-grown adult. Why are you eating
I don't
bone
know.
dust?
I don't know. I don't know.
It could be his bottom.
Well, she may have eaten that in when he was alive.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so James Hutchinson, who is the minister of Killalen, he placed a great store on the presence of the witch's mark on the bodies of the accused and cast doubt on the natural explanation for those marks offered by some physicians. Quote, and however doctors may say such and such things of it, the witch's mark, we know not upon what ground. It may be that they have been budded and bribed to say such things.
Right, okay.
End quote. So even if there's an explanation, he's like, nope, the devil put that there.
Okay, so like they could be bribed at that end, but there's absolutely no way he could be bribed at his end.
Oh no.
Okay.
He's a man.
Could do that.
A man, he cannot be tainted by such things, Amelia. No. And then you just flash him his boobs and he's like, what? So the jury, confronted by a threat from the persecution that if they acquitted the defendants, they would be, quote, an accessory to all the blasphemies, apostasies, murders, tortures, and seductions, etc., whereof those enemies of heaven and earth shall hereafter be guilty when they get out, end quote. And obviously they found all 7
That's funny, that.
guilty.
I couldn't foresee that coming.
Who would have thought? So one of those convicted was James Reed, and he committed suicide by hanging himself in his prison cell using his handkerchief attached to a nail on the wall.
Oh, I'm surprised I held him up. How little was he?
You don't have to be that far off the ground.
Okay.
You
just handkerchief isn't that strong with a nail. I just expect it, like the fibres to just break away. You know, like rip a hole in your top. You know, if you like snag a piece of clothing.
Unless he like made it so it's like round it up, so it's all tight.
Like twizzled it a bit first.
Yeah. So the remaining 6 were hanged and then burned on the Gallow Green in Paisley on the 10th of June, 1697, the last mass execution for witchcraft in Western Europe. John and James Lindsay, who were brothers from Formican Mill near Houston, were aged 11 and 14, respectively. So they themselves are children.
Oh, fucking hell.
So they're been accused by an 11-year-old. They
held school. Oh no, she might not have gone to school, to be fair.
They all worked in the same mill, I'm assuming. And James and John held hands as they were hanged together.
Oh.
I know. Catherine Campbell, after being carried struggling and screaming to the gallows, shouted, quote, called down the wrath of God and the devil on her accusers, end quote, before being dispatched. So she was hanged as well.
Yeah.
Margaret Fulton appeared to have become insane and, quote, spoke cheerfully about visits to Elfland and the abode of the fairies on the backs of magical horses, end quote.
To be fair, I think I might come up with weird shit like that just to freak people out. Like, I'm going to die anyway.
Yeah.
So I might as well just say something weird that really sticks with people, that freaks the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Or I might just go like, I know what you did. And then I get hung and then the person's like, what?
And everyone just turns at that person like, you're next. It's like, up you go. You're like, oh. No, just do it to the priest. And be like, I know what you did.
I saw you having sex with that man.
Yeah, just accuse all the other people who Obviously not the ones who are innocent. Do it to the ones who are accusing you or going to kill you.
He put a turd in your bed.
Maybe. I watched him do it. Where was I?
He fucked a cow.
He did in our other episode. I think that was on Patreon as well.
Yeah, a bit of cow prodding.
So Margaret Lang admitted to consorting with the devil, but said that she had renounced sin and was reconciled with God. Agnes Naismith laid a, quote, dying woman's curse on everyone present and their descendants. For many years afterwards, every tragedy in the town was blamed on the witch's curse. Good for her. I think she's like...
I think I would also like to throw a curse, yeah.
I think that, literally what you were just saying is like, you're accusing everyone, but to curse everyone, and then everyone's like, oh, it's Agnes, she cursed the whole town. Well, so she should if you're killing her. So one account of the execution state that some of the condemned were still alive when their bodies were burned, and that the executioners borrowed a walking stick from an onlooker with which to push the victims' moving limbs back into the fire. Its owner, Mark Canavan, refused to take it back after it had been in contact with the witches. He doesn't want to get the lurgy.
Yeah, also, one, it would be a bit singed. And two, so obviously the hung, I know most people die. Some people it can take a bit longer for them to die. But with all the others, you haven't heard of this before. No. So is it a case it happened, or if they elaborated a bit? Also, when the flames, I spoke about the bursting heart the other day. Was it because they're alive, or was it just because they've gone up in flames?
I think it's just because they've gone up in flames. I think the body will naturally rigor
and flail.
Yeah, rigor and move and it would shrink. So maybe I think it would do that. An alternative account suggests
sorry, I'm very distracted. I'm now looking at the skeletons on your top and trousers. I imagine that's how they are, whether slightly like that on the thing.
Probably. I do like my little two-piece. It's obviously men's because it's nice and comfy.
Yeah, it does look very nice and comfortable.
I think, well,
Are you wearing velvety pants?
No, I am not.
Oh.
I'm very comfortable today. I think I wanted to wear something spooky because it's October and it's Halloween. Yeah. So an alternative account suggests Shaw had taken a dislike to her servant, Catherine Campbell, and intentionally feigned bewitchment in order to bring about her death. So, who would have thought that? And that her testimony led to the execution of 24 individuals just because an 11-year-old
apparently can spew up coal.
This is what I always say when children are involved, especially. I'm not saying
how elaborate children's stories are.
Yeah,
as well.
And they may not mean for the person to die. They're just anyone can be spiteful, and a kid probably wouldn't realize what's going to happen to this person.
From the church's point of view, they're also very easy to manipulate.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, in so many of these cases, they've already got a precursor of who it is they want to bump off.
Yeah.
They just need to do it, and the best way to do it is a child, and you sort of plant the ideas in the child's head.
I don't think she got it from anywhere else. I think in this case, she orchestrated it herself, and it got a bit too far.
Yeah, but if you think she started with the stories and they've almost praised her for it, she'll carry on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because that's how kids work, isn't it? If they think they're doing something good, they just carry on doing it.
Yeah.
So, if you know what I mean, if they've not corrected her, and they've just sort of gone oh, that was really good, what you've done, sort of thing.
It's like, you're getting rid of evil. Yeah. And like this is why I wanted to do it from a different point of view during the witch trials, because she has a perfectly good life after this.
Yeah.
Because
almost normal.
After murdering these 24 people, in later life, Christina became an industrialist and is regarded as the founder of the thread industry in Renfrewshire.
Oh, fucking hell. So she did do well for herself.
She married Reverend John Miller in 1718, but he died in 1721. She then went to Holland with her mother, where they observed the Dutch spinning techniques. Shaw sketched the thread production process that she saw, and she's said to have smuggled some machinery back to Scotland in her luggage. The new production methods resulted in a more durable, whiter thread, and Shaw established a small thread manufacturing company, which is the Bagaran Thread Company. So she did
very well in life.
That's what I thought. So this company is still making thread.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, so it's just so...
I don't think she's completely to blame, because especially like with the Salem things. Like,
no.
She's not innocent. Obviously, what she's done is caused people to kill, but at the same time, if they hadn't... It shouldn't have never have gone to trial in the first place.
No.
She should have made up a story. Someone goes, you can't make up stories like that, and that'd be the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
They literally gave her a platform and then effectively encouraged her to do it even more.
Exactly. And this is what I wanted to, like, look into, like, if she had any... I don't know, not karma, did it affect her mind or affect her growing up? And it doesn't appear to do so.
In case of like 10 years down the line, she thought, oh shit, I've killed 10 people.
24.
Why does it say 10?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's just, at 11 years old, you've murdered 24 people and you go on to have a very successful business.
Yeah, and you think other people that have like committed murder or like probably murder for like lesser things.
Yeah.
And like they've literally rotted away in jail.
Yeah.
And then there's this kid just like, I'm killing people all the time.
It's like it's had no impact on her mental health at all.
Mm. But then maybe then she was like sort of seen as a hero. So
unless like
it never weird complex sort of thing.
Unless it never registered to her that it was a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's always been like, oh, she helped get rid of these witches.
Yeah. I feel like it would have been, because you look at the time still, it still went on into the 1700s. So maybe still for that whole time, she was seen as a local hero for the time.
Yeah. I can't imagine saying something when you're 11 years old and not dealing with the consequences of that.
I think it's the time, isn't it?
I know.
Because I think it still kind of happens today. Like something major that happens and it goes wrong, and then rather than there being a big thing about it, it's sort of swept under the carpet, and it's not then brought up till like much, much later, and everyone goes, oh my god, it was like terrible.
Yeah.
But at the time, it's like, meh. In the grand scheme of things, look at all the other problems we're having. You know, at the time, did it seem like not a very big thing? You know, even like 10, 15 years down the line, they're like, oh, well, it's done now, not really anything we can do with it. Look at the problems we're having now, we need to deal with them. So they sort of just put it on a back burner sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's easy for us to say now, like, oh my god, it was an absolute like travesty, like thousands of people were murdered. But then at the time, when you look at everything else going on, you look at the poverty and all the other problems.
I know, it's
kings and queens and wars.
Yeah.
Was a few
just
people
another thing.
Yeah.
It's just another thing. I can't get it in my head that like me accusing one person that leads to the death of 24 people.
But I think that's where just like the justice system has changed so much. I think it's like now that you've really got to prove it, you can't just say something.
Yeah, and like this guy was like, oh, you have to accuse them, otherwise you're aiding.
Next.
Yeah, you're aiding and abetting them. It's like, no, I just don't agree with your facts.
You're not allowed your own view though, are you?
No, which goes back to the sheep mentality. If you go against them, you will be the one who's accused next.
Yeah. You're a bad person.
Yes. So in May 2008, a memorial was built at Max Welton Cross in Paisley. This is the site where the witches' charred remains were buried.
Yeah.
The bronze tondo, which is a circular work of art with a stainless steel horseshoe embedded in it, includes the inscription, pain inflicted, suffering endured, injustice done. So this is to mark all the deaths in Paisley, and I thought that was kind of nice. It's nice that they're kind of like recognizing harm was done.
Yeah, it's just a little bit late.
Yeah, and I think better late than never, but it's also
it shouldn't. It's a good way to preserve the history.
Yeah,
I think,
and I think that's a good thing. It's like we're not getting rid of the crimes against humanity, which is good with Germany, and not getting rid of anything that they've done in the past with the wars. And I think that's what everything needs to be done with any major mass atrocity should happen. So it's nice that Scotland have done this.
No, I think it's good. They've done quite a few memorials. Because there's one for Agnes Hampson. Yeah,
they've done some for the North Berwick ones as well. Yeah, so I thought I'd do a slightly different episode and do
from
the life story of someone else. Yeah,
no, it was interesting. I enjoyed that.
Good.
Yeah,
because
Oh, sorry. Go on, you say what you can say. I thought you finished.
Because I thought, it was like, when it said Christian Shaw, and it was like, she became this important businesswoman. I was like, okay, that's unusual, because one, she's a woman. Two, she's called Christian. Three, she accused
Maybe in
her
a weird
servant.
way, that's why she thrives so well, because it's a male-sounding name, so even though she was a woman.
I think that's why...
You know, like off the cuff, people are like, oh, we're dealing with a man here.
Yeah, I think that's why some families, especially in the past, used to name their children a male name. So it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I really enjoyed this episode.
Good.
Can I finish it now?
No. Yes, you can.
Okay. On that note...
You don't know how to end it now, do you?
No.
In the meantime...
Keep creeping. Oh, no, that's your thing. Jesus Christ.
Keep creeping.
We'll keep digging.